Hello, hello, everybody. It is so good to be able to see you again this week. This is the last video in our series. We are talking about how we can use inhalers and diffusers in order to support our mood and our emotional state and to just support emotional regulation. So I'm so excited to highlight another inhaler blend when it comes to that. My name is Jessica Kufos. I am a certified aromatherapist. I'm also one of the coaches for the Mood Makeover Method, and we are going to get into an incredible inhaler blend that you can use during the day to support your mood. And we're going to highlight citruses. That is going to be the star of the show today. And I'm really excited to talk about citruses because, I mean, they just are so uplifting, right? They're uplifting and they just boost our mood. They are just incredible when we're just in a lull or we're in a funk or we're just struggling emotionally. And, they're great for that. So I'm going to highlight two specific oils that you can use for your inhaler blend to support that. And the first one we're going to talk about is bergamot. Yes, oh yes, yes, Citrus bergamia. That's the Latin name for it. And why do I love bergamot so much? It really does pack a punch. It's analgesic, which means it's pain relieving. It's antispasmodic, which of course we know is helps to relieve and reduce spasms, muscle spasms that we have, which is so important because when we think about, when we're having emotional or mental stagnation or blocks and barriers, many, many times, what's associated with that? Physical pains, right? So it's great when it comes to that. And um, it is part of the chemical family of monoterpenes and esters. So, we've been talking a lot about that this week. And when we talk about chemical families, what do we mean when I say that? What do I mean when I say that? So we're talking about, you can look at it like the mom and the dad and their characteristics and, their unique qualities. And when we talk about the constituents or components, the components or constituents are linalool, linalool acetate, and D-limonene. And when I tell you that is like the trifecta, it is incredible. But what do I mean when I say constituents? So you can look at that like, we talked about the chemical family, the mom and the dad. So the constituents would be considered like the children, their unique abilities and like the personality or their traits. And so we know that linalool and linalool acetate are really great for calming. They have very calming, relaxing, sedative effects. They're anxiolytic, which means they're anxiety reducing. When we think about D-limonene, same thing, really incredible for calming. I mean, it's just, citruses are just incredible. And so you can use bergamot in order to be able to help you to calm your mood. When we think about stresses that we have, I mean, there's so many stresses that are going on right now, just in general, family and work, relationships, just even within ourselves. We need to be able to get our bodies in a state of parasympathetic mode, which is rest, digest, and rejuvenate. We need to get it to a calm state. Sometimes our bodies can be stuck in sympathetic mode, which is that fight, flight, or freeze mode. It can kind of just be stuck in the on position where we're just getting maybe ongoing or chronic stresses and things that are just constantly being thrown at us. And so we want to be able to get our bodies in a calm state and just reducing that anxiety, reducing that stress, and really balancing and calming our central nervous system. It's extremely important. And bergamot is incredible for this. This is just one of the oils that we can use for that. And what's about some of the safety data for bergamot? So we're going to talk about that because it's really, really important. It's an incredible oil, but there is safety data. So let's get into that. So for bergamot, bergamot is phototoxic. So what does that mean? So it means that you can get skin burns or skin damage can occur if you apply bergamot to your skin and then you expose yourself to the sunlight. or to a tanning booth. So it's encouraged when you're using bergamot with a carrier oil, you always use your essential oils with carrier to protect your skin. But even more so when it comes to bergamot, you never want to use bergamot just neat or just putting it on your skin. You will definitely have skin burns or skin damage. And so if you are going to use bergamot with a carrier oil, which you 100% should, you want to make sure 1 to 2 drops to every 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of carrier oil. And so that is enough. You no more than that, like that is the standard. And so if you are going to use it, you definitely want to ensure that you do not expose yourself to the sun for 18 hours after you have used it. So you put it on and you use it. If you're using it topically, you definitely don't expose yourself to the sun. The other thing we want to make sure that we're mentioning is bergamot can cause or you can experience skin sensitization or skin irritation. But what does that really mean? Like, what do I mean when I say that? So if the oil is oxidized, bergamot can cause skin irritation or skin sensitization. So you don't want to use your oil or say, we're going to make an inhaler blend and then you just leave the top off or you don't close it tightly enough and you expose it to oxygen, because when you expose it to oxygen, you will change the chemical makeup of that essential oil. And once the chemical makeup is changed, you can get skin irritation or sensitization. So you always want to make sure with all of your oils, all of your essential oils, that you're making sure that you're putting the cap back on tightly and you're storing them in a cool, dark place. Even with your citrus oils, it's always great you can even put them in the refrigerator and store them in a cool place, and that will help to preserve them and keep their vibrancy. So that's just some safety data we want to make sure that we mention with bergamot. And we're going to talk about how we can use bergamot in conjunction with another essential oil that I love. And it might surprise you. It's lime. Citrus aurantifolia. That is the Latin name for lime. And I love lime. It's just so vibrant and energizing. It just gives you the boost. I mean, just taking the top off and you just, it's so volatile and it's just such a beautiful oil. And I love lime really for the same reasons that I love bergamot. They pack such a punch. It comes from the chemical family of monoterpenes. And monoterpenols, which is incredible. So it has that D-limonene in there. It packs a punch. And we know that that is incredible for calming us, helping our bodies to be, in a calm state, helping us to reduce that stress, reduce that anxiety. We talk about that a lot when it comes to the movement over method. And we want to get our bodies, our minds, our emotions in a state where they are calm, where we can reduce that stress level, reduce that anxiety level. And lime is so refreshing. And it's an antispasmodic as well. It's pain relieving. And those are great, in conjunction together, oils that have, the same constituents in them, same components. They are beautiful when you incorporate them together. And so what is some of the safety data for lime? So lime is quite interesting because lime can also be phototoxic depending on how it's processed. So what do I mean when I say that? Like, what do you mean? So if lime, depending on how it's processed, lime, if it is processed via like cold pressed, if that's how it's extracted, via a cold press process, that is phototoxic. However, if lime is extracted or that it's processed via steam distillation or steam distilled, that is not phototoxic. So it's really going to just depend on how it's processed and how it's extracted, whether or not it will either be phototoxic or not. So just remember that if it's cold pressed, that is 100% phototoxic. If it's steam distilled, if your lime is steam distilled, it's not phototoxic. We're not going to do a topical blend. We're going to do an inhaler blend. So let's make one. So I just have my essential oils just covered over on the side. I'm, by my trusty window. So I always make sure that it's covered and out of the sunlight. And I have my gloves here. And I'm just so excited to make this inhaler blend, you guys, because this is, inhaler blends, inhalers just in general are so incredible for when you're on the go. A lot of times we experience stress and the heights of our anxieties when we're out and about, when we're doing things. Things are triggering us, things are stressing us out, maybe work, or maybe we got a distressing call, or maybe something has happened, while we're out and about doing our day, our day-to-day things. And so what better way than to have an inhaler blend to calm and to relieve that stress, right? So I'm just going to uncover here my oils, and I'm just going to show you, actually, I don't have the top, but that's okay. We're still going to do it. So this is an inhaler blend we're going to be using. This is the inner portion of it. And we have our organic cotton wicks. We talked about last time, it's important for us to be using organic wicks because we are inhaling. This is going right into our nose. We want to make sure that what we are inhaling and absorbing is, pure, as pure as we can get it. So I happen to love, lime is a bit strong. So I'm going to use a little bit more bergamot. Now, when it comes to how many drops should you put in your, on your inhaler or use in your inhaler? And I like to use anywhere from 10, you can do 10 to 15. I usually like 10 to 12. That's the sweet spot for me. But I always start out on the lower end because if I want to increase, I can kind of play around with it and bump it up. So I just have a little bowl here just so you can see, and my cotton wick is right in the bowl. And I'm just going to pour it. I love it, love it, love it, you guys. So I'm just going to pour here. I'm going to do 7 drops of the bergamot. I'm going to do 7. Let's get to pouring here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. See how fast that came out? Super, super fast. I tell you, this comes out so fast. Oh, the smell of bergamot. It just lights me up. I love it. I love it, love it. And now I'm going to do 3 drops of the lime. So let me see if I can get this. 1, 2, 3. Might be 3.5. I don't know. But even if it was, it's completely fine. You know what the smell of lime reminds me of? Do you ever have it's almost like a Skittle. It's like Skittles. That's what it reminds me of. That's just my side note. Don't mind me. But that's what it reminds me of, is Skittles. So we're just going to mix this up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it, and I'm just making this for myself. So I'm going to take it in here. And what I'm going to do, there's the top. I'm not going to put it all the way on because if I want to add more, I want to be able to add. If I close the lid and snap it shut, that's it. So let's smell it. I just want to see. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a total win. That's like enough. That's perfect. So I'm going to snap the lid shut here. Maybe. Oh, not quite. Technical difficulties. Okay. So it is shut. I don't have the top part on it, but that's okay. But what you would do is just take the lid. Oh, let me grab it here. You would just take the lid and you would snap it shut. Yes, yes. Okay, here's the lid. You close it shut and you're done. You are completely ready to go. You can have this with you on the go, in your car, in your purse, at your desk at work, at your bedside table, or wherever you study, or wherever you're going to, when you get up in the morning and you may need to use it, you can literally have it forever. And I literally have one of these everywhere, everywhere. So this is great when you're dealing with stress, when you're kind of struggling. And this is all you need. You are all set to go. And I am so glad that I was able to come on here with you this week and just share some of the most incredible things that I have been loving about using aromatherapy to help support my mood and my emotions. And I hope you have been enjoying it too. And definitely let us know what you have been using. We'd love to hear it. Again, my name is Jessica Kufos. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you in our next one. Take care, everybody.